In today's explainer, we're going to completely demystify something that literally powers the modern internet, but mostly just sits invisibly in the background. I'm talking about the VMware Hypervisor ecosystem. If you've ever wondered how massive tech companies seamlessly manage thousands upon thousands of servers, well, you're absolutely in the right place. We're going to unpack this whole complex digital infrastructure step by step.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the overarching ecosystem concept. Then we'll dive right into computing with vSphere, storage with vSAN, networking with NSX, and finally wrap up with virtual desktops using Horizon.
All right, part one, the ecosystem concept. Let's get into it. So before we start looking at specific software, we really have to grasp the overarching mindset here. A hypervisor alone? It's just not enough. As you likely know, the hypervisor is the software letting you create multiple virtual machines on a single physical box. But think about it. Once you've got hundreds or even thousands of those VMs running, how do you monitor them? How do you connect them all to the internet or manage their storage? That is exactly where the ecosystem comes into play. It's a comprehensive collection of tools. You basically need a whole bucket of specialized software working seamlessly together to keep the enterprise running. And, this ecosystem concept isn't actually unique to virtual machines. If you're at all familiar with big data, you've probably heard of the Apache Hadoop ecosystem. Hadoop isn't just one single thing, right? It relies on a whole collection of internal tools like MapReduce, Pig, and Hive, all working together to crunch massive data. Well, the VMware ecosystem operates on that exact same philosophy. It's a suite of distinct tools, your hypervisors, vSAN, NSX, that all team up to tackle the immense complexity of cloud infrastructure. Moving right along to part two, computing and management with vSphere. When you hear the term vSphere, I want you to think of it as a master suite made up of two primary components. First up, you've got ESXi. This is the actual hypervisor. It's the core engine doing all the heavy lifting to create your virtual machines. But of course, an engine needs a driver, and that brings us to our second component, vCenter. vCenter is essentially the centralized management and monitoring hub that oversees all those ESXi engines. Now, we absolutely need to distinguish between the types of hypervisors VMware offers. Mastering this distinction is pure gold for technical interviews, by the way. Let's start with ESXi. This is a Type 1 bare metal hypervisor, meaning you don't need Windows or Linux installed on the server first. You literally install ESXi directly onto the Blink hardware. It is unbelievably efficient, totally designed for massive enterprise servers. On the flip side, VMware Workstation is a Type 2 hypervisor. It runs on a host operating system. You install it just like a normal app on your existing Windows or Linux machine. It's perfect for personal testing, but definitely not what you'd use to run a massive data center.
And just to quickly round out your knowledge on Type 2 hypervisors, if you're an Apple user, don't worry, you aren't left out. While VMware Workstation is built for standard host OS environments like Windows and Linux, VMware actually offers a specific tool called VMware Fusion, and that is custom designed exclusively for Mac OS users. Again, just a really great little detail to keep in your back pocket for your next cloud computing interview. Let's bring our focus back up to the enterprise level and look at vCenter. Remember, this is the management hub. Think of vCenter as the central steering wheel for your entire server farm. Let's say you're running a huge e-commerce site, and suddenly a massive flash sale causes a totally unexpected traffic spike. Well, vCenter is the tool that automatically recognizes that spike, seamlessly migrates your virtual machines over to servers with more capacity, and basically ensures your website doesn't just crash under the sudden load. It provides that incredible automation and monitoring that honestly makes modern cloud computing feel a bit like magic. But here's the thing. Computing power is really only one piece of the puzzle. Think about this for a second. How do we actually handle massive, sudden storage demands? Like, imagine a social platform suddenly launches a huge new feature. Let's say something like Instagram Shorts. Literally overnight, millions of users are uploading massive video files. How does an enterprise physically store all of that sudden data? Which brings us to part three, pooling storage with vSAN. That exact question of immense data scaling leads us perfectly to vSAN, which stands for Virtual Storage Area Network. Here's what it does in a nutshell. Imagine your enterprise has thousands of individual hard drives physically plugged into server racks everywhere. Let's say you just have 100 separate hard drives, each with 1 terabyte of space. To a sysadmin, manually managing 100 separate drives is an absolute nightmare. So vSAN takes all of those individual drives and digitally stitches them together. To the user, it just looks like a single, massive 100 terabyte pool, completely hiding all that messy physical complexity happening in the background.
But managing that massive pool definitely requires some clever software tricks. vSAN handles fault tolerance by automatically keeping backup copies of your data scattered across different physical drives. So if one hard drive literally catches on fire, no big deal. Your data is still totally safe somewhere else. But my absolute favorite feature is data duplication. Think about your smartphone gallery. When your storage gets full, you scroll through, realize you took like 15 identical selfies, and you delete 14 of them to save space, right? Well, vSAN does exactly that, but at an enterprise scale. It constantly scans the massive storage pool, finds identical files, deletes the redundant copies, and just points everything back to the single original file. It is so incredibly efficient.
Okay, so we've got our compute processing running incredibly smoothly, and our massive storage pool is fully optimized. But here's the next really critical challenge we have to face. How on earth do we protect sensitive financial data across all these interconnected virtual machines? That leads us straight into part 4, securing networks with NSX. In a world totally full of sophisticated attackers, security just isn't optional anymore. And that is exactly where NSX steps in as the ultimate traffic cop of our data center. It relies on a super important concept called software-defined networking, or SDN. Back in the old days, if you wanted to isolate a network, you literally had to walk into a server room and plug or unplug physical cables into physical hardware routers. It was a mess. But with SDN, we manage all network security and traffic routing entirely through software. This enables something incredibly powerful called microsegmentation, which essentially means isolating traffic down to the microscopic level of individual virtual machines. Let's actually see how this plays out in a real-world scenario by tracing the steps of securing a banking application. You absolutely never put an entire banking app onto one single virtual machine. No way. Instead, you segment it. Step 1. You set up a front-end VM that solely handles basic user requests and website clicks. Step 2, a totally separate business logic VM processes the actual banking rules. And step 3, your highly sensitive database VM, the one holding all those crucial financial records, sits completely isolated. NSX acts as an impenetrable digital wall between them. So if an attacker somehow manages to hack the front end in step 1, NSX ensures they have absolutely zero path to query or access that database in step 3. It effectively contains the blast radius of any cyber attack. Finally, part 5, virtual desktops with VMware Horizon. So we've built this incredible, ultra-secure backend, but how do everyday employees actually access all this power? Well, VMware Horizon is the tool that brings the power of the enterprise cloud directly to the end user. Honestly, it was an absolute game changer for the work-from-home era. Think about it. A company definitely doesn't want highly sensitive financial data or complex proprietary software living on some employee's personal, unsecured laptops sitting on their living room couch. With Horizon, the employee just logs in, and a fully functional, highly secure enterprise desktop is actually streamed to their screen, straight from the company's data center. The actual processing and the data stay locked down safely on the enterprise servers. The employee's device is basically just acting as a dumb monitor and keyboard. Let's bring this all together and look at the complete digital toolkit that makes up VMware Ecosystem. You start with vSphere to manage your raw computing power and run the hypervisors. Then you use vSAN to magically pool thousands of physical hard drives into a single massive storage space. Next, you layer on NSX to act as a software-defined traffic hop, locking down the network through microsegmentation. And finally, you use Horizon to deliver all of this incredible power securely to end users sitting literally anywhere in the world. These tools don't just work alongside each other. They are deeply integrated to form a single, fully functioning enterprise organism. Which brings us to a final thought I want to leave you with today. We've seen just how incredibly comprehensive these tools really are. If a single software ecosystem can seamlessly control every single aspect of an enterprise's compute, storage, and network, all the way down to the micro level, who ultimately holds the true power in the modern cloud industry? Is it the hardware companies building the physical servers? Or is it the ones writing the software that actually brings them to life? It's a fascinating question to ponder as we continue to watch the cloud evolve. Thank you so much for joining me for today's explainer. And as always, keep questioning the technology that runs our world.